Hi everyone, it is Pig Bowl 52, new location. We're at Heart Health Park, Cal Expo. First time it's ever been here, the home of the Sac Republic. Law versus fire, once again. Walt Gray, Doug Kelly, Greg Cowett here on the telecast. My 31st of the 52 Pig Bowls. How about that? I don't know what that means, but on we go right, with the ball game. Okay, Greg, you played for the Law team for many years. They've won the last two games, 27-13. What is their game plan today to handle the fire?
You know what? Same thing. Prior to that, the Fire won 2 games in a row. So it's been a great game, but it's always comes down to 15 days of practice for these guys. It's not a lot, and if you make those, you're lucky, right? So mistakes, turnovers, and big plays. Last year, Law has 2 big plays, 70, 80-yard pass play for the 14 points, and they win the game. So
only had minus 5 yards on the ground, and they won. They 27 points with minus 5 yards on the ground.
Coach before the game says, hey, we're going to ground and pound for minus 3 yards. So awesome day, right? But that's what this game's about.
Yes, it is. All right, Doug Kelly, you talking to Aaron Dean a little bit, one of the Fire coaches. Yeah. What is Fire going to do to get back and be competitive in this game?
Well, they have to do 2 things in particular, Walt. Number 1 is be concise. As usual, Law always has a much bigger roster than Fire. So they've got to make every play count. And secondly, eliminate the bad penalties. There are no good penalties.
No, that's the most sage thing you've ever said. So will it be more of a passing Fire team, or are they going to try to get this done on the ground, do you think?
They're going to try both.
Okay.
They're going to try both.
Okay.
They want to keep it concise,
all right,
and not give Law the opportunity to load the middle.
Okay.
And then they can go back and dink and dunk all they want.
Okay.
It's kind of like when Phillip Rivers was quarterback in the Colts a couple weeks ago.
Dink and dunk, short passes.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And they almost pulled it off.
They did. Okay, we're going to have much more coming up here. Game time temperature, about 60 degrees. It is a beautiful field. We hope it's a great football game. Back with the opening kickoff, Pig Bowl 52, coming up. All right, Law's got the football. They're going to be kicking off here at Pig Bowl 52. Fire will receive. Walt Gray, Doug Kelly, Greg Cowett. Greg played in many of these games. Opening kickoff, very exciting, right, Greg?
That's sort of scary. Get those butterflies out. The first hit is always the best.
That's what we like. All right, kickoff to about the 10-yard line. Fire's got it up the middle. Nice return across the 32-yard line, where Fire will take over 1st and 10 from their own 31.
I tell you what, right? 15 days of practice, not a lot.
Yeah.
Whether you made them or not is a different story. But coming out the first play of the game, once you hit somebody hard one time, it's all downhill from there. It's the best play ever.
The Law has the advantage, of course, in overall roster size. Talking to Aaron Dean of Fire, he said he's got about 5 guys who are going to go offense and defense for Fire, and special teams mixing in some of those starters as well. So their roster size not giant, Greg.
Which has always been a deficit for Fire, right? The one year that they had like 110 players is a victory for them. So stamina, obviously one of the big issues in this game.
All right, number 8, Cameron Barrios is the starting quarterback for Fire. He takes it, pickup of about 5-6 yards, and it's going to be 2nd down and about 5 for Fire.
I would start this game off just, we talked about it last year. Law wanted a ground and pound, and they made no yards the whole game. But yeah, you have to sort of start off running the ball, get comfortable with what you're doing, and then see how it goes in the rest of the game.
Just underway here, and we are at Cal Expo for the first time. There have been 4 different venues for the Pig Bowl. Barrios spins, gets free, close to the 1st down, may have just gotten in on the 2nd spin, and we'll see what kind of a marking. It looks like they've measured that as a 1st down for Fire.
You know what I like? Very athletic. That was a good move for a quarterback back there. So they haven't had that in a couple years, so it looks awesome to have a quarterback that can run the ball.
Doug, is this consistent with what you met with Aaron Dean of Fire, one of the Fire coaches, pretty much going to run it to get this thing going?
Very consistent with what he told me earlier this morning, Walt. They want to establish the tone on the ground and use the ground to set up the pass.
All right, that was a quick pass. Barrios over onto the left side. Tim Crenshaw, who caught the football, 6'1", 190. Crenshaw's had a lot of good pig bowls here.
Yeah, he's played in this game for years, so he's probably feeling pretty comfortable. But, hey, I like the 2-3 yard little pass just to mix things up. Hey, defense always has an advantage to start this game with playing like 15 days of practice. Come out, just go run and tackle somebody. But, hey, mixing it up, run, pass, keeps them on edge a little bit.
Let's see what the Fire coaching staff has cooked up on this one. 2nd down and 6. Barrios over center. Sends a man in motion right to left. The pitch is outside to 0. 0 is Frank Trent, 5'10", 230 running back. First time we've called Frank's name here in the Pig Bowl.
You know what, every year, we can look at the rosters every year, but we come in here, they're all changed, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that's consistent is the people in the parking lot and us.
We're just hoping for a good competitive game where nobody gets hurt. This is an absolutely beautiful field, Greg. Would you have liked to have played on this?
Yeah, but you know what? I guarantee there's half of the players on that field right now have never touched a grass football field.
I would say you're probably
think
right.
about that.
Yeah. So kind of a treat. Barrios once again over center. He's going to roll, not fooling anybody on that one. A loss of about 7. It's going to set up 3rd down and long for Fire. Joshua Johnson on the sack for the Law.
That'll bring up a 4th and 12.
4th down and 12, I stand corrected. Obvious punting situation. But in the NFL or college these days, who punts?
Yeah, well, where they're at, I would think they would punt it, but you never know in these games.
It's this game's possession, turnovers, all these things matter, right?
They are going to punt in this since they're at their own 39.5, maybe 40-yard line.
Hey, special teams, a third of the game. In this game, it's like...
It's wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
It could be wild.
Good way to put it.
If they even practice special teams in the 15 days before kickoff.
I believe they do. Marv Levy, the legendary coach of the Buffalo Bills, once said, offense sells tickets,
That's a good
defense wins games, special teams win championships. He was right.
Yeah. Well, that was a relatively short punt for Fire, and Law is going to take over 1st and 10 here early in the first quarter, operating from their own, let's see where they spot the football, 25-yard line.
Yeah, you know what, we talk about this game like football, like normal football, and it's really not, right? But the hidden yardage does account for something early in the game. It's the second half of this game where I think you see the small rosters, everybody gets tired, and it'll change up what they do. So we'll see what the first offensive series looks like for Law, but I believe they're going to do the same thing, just ground and pound, try to work it out.
Hogs on their own 25.
All right, operating, we got a loose football, handoff. That, I'm not sure if you call your first 30 plays or 15 plays. I'm not sure what that one was.
Yeah, the fumble on the snap, right? Probably not in the playbook, but you know what? That's what you get here. You know what? We should know that. Everything happens every year like this. Settle down a little bit and just get something that works a little.
They got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 25-yard line.
Hey, we've all watched high school football.
Yes, we have.
Sometimes those are the biggest plays ever, is a broken play.
First offensive snap for Law. Obviously, they're got a couple of jitters going. It's their first opportunity to get some yardage here, and we'll see what they do here on 2nd down and 10. Blitz, Fire, handoff, gain of about 7, 8, maybe. Quarterback Jay Sloan is in for the Law team. A.J. Santiago on the carry, going right.
I like Sloan at quarterback. He's been here for years. He's really a gamer. There's a game a couple years ago where they were rotating quarterbacks and
every other play, I think.
Yeah, I think law enforcement was down at the end of the game, and he went to the coach and told him, "Hey, put me in. I got this."
I remember that.
Morris put him in, and they won the game.
Defense. Get it up for the Fire defense.
Jay Sloan, 6', 205. He was the 2024 game MVP. He had a touchdown pass to Terrence McDonald. and that gave the Law a 27-13 lead in that game, and that was the final score of that game. Handoff, not much doing for Law on that one.
That's Santiago.
A.J. Santiago on the carry again for Law. Fourth down.
Fire defense.
Here comes your punt team package.
I'm going to tell you what, like Fire the last couple years in this game, their defense has been outstanding, right? And it's sort of kept them in this game and led to a couple of those victories. Last year, I think they were awesome. 2 big plays, right? And that's the difference in the game.
Doug, are you worried about Fire with the smaller numbers later on as this game goes? Especially, Greg just mentioned their defense playing well, but, you know,
Hogs are going for it.
are they going to go for it here from their own first down? Kind of a gutsy call. Kind of a gutsy call, Greg.
Yeah, I don't know. Right, the analytics that we have all availability to here.
They say no.
That way.
All right, back to you, Doug, about later in the game. Are you worried about Fire wearing out?
I am, because you like to grind it out and put together like a 17-play, 90-yard touchdown march.
Number 3, Frank
But
Palmer
all
on
you're
the
doing
tackle
there is you're wearing
for
out your
Fire.
players, and you don't have enough players as it is. So yeah, it is of concern and should be for Aaron Dean.
All right, first down for the Law squad at the 38-yard line, and they didn't like what they saw, or they didn't like what was going on with their offensive scheme here, so they're going to take a quick timeout. So we are just underway here. Temperature 60 degrees. It is a beautiful sunny day. Perfect. What's the perfect football weather, Greg? Is it a day like this?
You know what it is, and everybody always talks about Pig Bowl. Hey, it's going to rain. Could have been a great original Pig Bowl on a muddy field again, right? I played a couple of those games. They were so much. I'm sort of a mudder, right?
Yeah.
Not quick side to side on that AstroTurf, but hey, beautiful day. It's Groundhog Day. Every time, every year, I think it's the same weather. Now we say, hey, it's going to rain, and all of a sudden it turns into a cloudy day with the sun coming out midway through this game. It's beautiful. It's actually hot out right now.
You know, it's true. It's like, I think the game attendance really relies here at the Pig Bowl or any game on good weather. And we've been very fortunate the last 10, 15 years. It's been exactly like this. So we'll see what the rest of the day brings. It was a foggy start to the morning, but clearing. All right, here we go. Jay Sloan throws, man out in the left flat, and that is caught to Terrence McDonald. Again, it was Sloan to McDonald in 2024 for that long touchdown pass that sealed the victory for Law 2 years ago.
Hey, McDonald's been such a big part of this game for years, and last year he was the go-to guy. They tried to go to him early, not in tune with the quarterbacks, and they end up later in the game making 2 big plays. Well, what a stud. I mean, he's been a great player in this game for years. Guess what? We all get older.
Yeah, that's yes, unfortunately true. All right, looks like a different offensive package in here for Law.
With an empty set.
Back to throw, has a man over the middle and dropped.
Oh, deep down the middle, just off the fingertip.
Not sure what that was. We had 2 receivers who could have caught that pass. Obviously, somebody was in the wrong place.
Yeah, so you talk about the mental part of this game with 15 practices if you made them, but that's going to happen, right? He almost tipped it to the other guy.
Either one of them, Doug, could have caught that football.
Either one could have, but somebody ran the wrong route.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Fire defense, pretty tough. Let's hear it for the Fire defense. Everybody over there.
Jay Sloan has the play. He is checking in on the huddle for the Law team. And we are still scoreless here at Cal Expo. Jay Sloan off to a pretty good start here for Law. Man in motion, Sloan looks left, throws, pass is complete, and it is close to a first down.
Pass completed to Triplett.
Triplett on the reception for the Law, and that is enough, I believe, for a first down for Law.
First down.
Right to midfield.
That first down, not brought to you by Triplet, but by Spry River Casino.
The Pig Bowl has become heavily commercialized, which is probably okay. Everybody's dollar is good here to keep this game going.
You know what? They've done a great job of just being a sponsor in this and making things happen. That's what we need sometimes. You know what? And the money goes to charity, so everybody's winning on this thing.
First down and 10, handoff. And the Fire has this one figured out, is can they get the man down? And they do. See where they spot it, probably right to the line of gain. Doug?
Well, first of all, Walt, when somebody runs a 4-down lineman set, that's going to open up the middle of the field. The trick for the quarterback is to figure out where that middle of the field is going to be and go for it.
Sage observation there, Doug Kelly. Doug, who spent many years and as a publicist for the Kansas City Chiefs. That was during, I believe, the Len Dawson era. Otis Taylor and all the Jan Steneruds of the Chiefsdom. All right, pitch out to the left. Again, Fire is on it and out of bounds close to midfield, so not much going here for the Law squad as we're coming up on third down and probably 10.
Hey, you know what a guy to watch on Fire is 55. He's had such a great game. He's a stud linebacker. I think all their linebackers are really their basis while their defense.
Thaden Haley.
Thaden, yes.
Thaden Haley, 55 for Fire, 6'2", 240.
And he's not a small kid.
No,
but their linebackers every year have been that way, and then you start running the ball like this, like they're doing, all they're going to do is throw them in the box and say, go get them, right? Be an athlete.
It is third down and 10, just about 10. Sloan again keeping it short, getting loose, and may be a little bit short. 2 yards short. Pass complete, Sloan to Triplet. Then they're going to mark him first down. All right. And the Law continues to move.
Yeah, you're going to look at that kid. I just watch him move around on the field. He's making some good decisions at the receiver route and doing some great things. So wouldn't mind getting him the ball a lot. But, hey, threw it for 1 yard, and he makes 10 or 11. So
that's
good for him.
First and 10 Law at the 40-yard line of Fire.
Short, quick pops, Doug, for Law moving the football.
That's the best way to move the ball against these guys. Don't outthink yourself. They've looked at tape. They've seen where the holes are. Go exploit the holes.
First down and 10 for Law from the 40 of Fire. Pump fake. Sloan wanted to go right. Obviously coverage or didn't like it. Keeps it and goes about 2 yards.
Same thing. Ran the wrong routes on the outside. Nobody was there when he was going to let it loose. So he tucks it and did a good job of just getting a couple positive yards. I think that's what you get with Sloan, right? I mean, he's done it long enough now. He's got his confidence. He's a good athlete, good quarterback, and makes good decisions.
He's good size. He's good size, too. So if he has to run it, he can do it. Second down and probably 8.5 for the Law squad.
Courtesy of Interstate Oil.
As we said in the pregame, the last two Pig Bowls won by Law, same scores, 27-13, but 3 and 4 years ago, Fire won back-to-back. So hopefully we've got a close one here today to keep you watching here on the ABC 10 Plus app. In motion, Sloan looks left, passes a little bit high, but a nice catch by Triplet.
Great hands on this kid.
Very close to another first down.
It's funny, you get those days of practice, you're going to find out if that guy's coming to practice or not, who is going to be your go-to guy during this game. And right now, just based on that, that was a good athletic maneuver.
Jay Sloan to Triplet, just short of a first down. Going to set up a 3rd and 1. Obviously, this will be 4-down territory. So
unlike the prior one.
Yeah. Well, in previous years, Scott Brown would come in and kick for Law and probably could hit from there. He was good from about 45 in. He had a great career at Sac State.
Yep.
But in this era of how football analytics, Greg, as you said, everybody's always going for it on 4th. All right, we got obviously a problem here. It's going to be against the Law squad, I believe.
You know what? Tripp
Motion.
was just jogging off the field, and I think that I don't know if he was supposed to be designed in that play, but Fire actually went out with him, and he ran all the way off the sideline. Hey, remember the year they're thinking about, right? Not only is it just the players, but it's everybody that's involved in this game, that it's once a year type thing. They went a whole series without having first down markers on the field one year.
Yes.
It was awesome.
They were running around like, yeah, it was, I think, to start the game, right? It was like,
Yep.
still in the locker room.
Yep. Uh-huh.
All right, we're going to get a timeout here. Doug, is everything kind of end of the first quarter? What's your thinking so far of what you've seen?
I think, Walt, to be honest, it's going pretty much like I'm sure the coaching staffs of both teams figured it might. Fire has kept Law off the scoreboard. That's a positive for them. They're making some plays. You know, the difference between a good quarterback and a great quarterback, it's real simple. Whoever makes the best decisions is generally going to win. And both teams are making good decisions right now, and this game might be closer than people think.
What's interesting, Greg, is time of possession has been virtually all Law so far in this game. Last year, Fire had possession of the ball 33 minutes to Law's 26 minutes. This is much different so far through one quarter.
Yeah, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, without that 70-yard pass and the 80-yard pass for touchdowns, the Law offense had nothing, right? And that's what can change this game, is those plays like that.
So we're going to change, flip the field here, and we'll have Law with the football and see if they can move it on in and get some points here early in the second quarter of this game.
It's so fun to be at these games. I watch a year because we don't get to see some of the guys that have played in it. Right now, just walked up to the booth. Here's Drew Wyatt, who was a superstar in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
For years, and he's sitting next to Scott Gurnaby, right, whose kid is playing in this game now.
Yep. Yeah, Drew Wyatt to Jose Whitfield. I mean, how many times, Doug, did you and I call that?
More years than I care to admit to.
It's either an interception or a first and goal.
It is an interception. Fire Dogs getting a much-needed break here. Looks like there's a beef, whether that was a reception or a completed pass. We going back to the Buffalo Bills game where we're not sure whether we've caught the ball or we're down by contact or intercepted, Doug?
Well, nobody's going to know because there's no booth upstairs to send it off to determine was it a catch or was it not a catch. That's one of the things, Walt, that's becoming cumbersome about pro football is there are so many delays in the game to look at a replay. You know, you can't play an NFL game in 3 hours anymore. You simply cannot.
I talked to the game officials prior. I said, hey, you guys get into a beef, we got replay. And they always laugh because I always say that every year, and they humor me because there's no way they're gonna do that. But hey, the offer was made. The offer was made. All right. Yep. All right. From their own 10-yard line, try to get something going here, and a nice pitch and catch crossing the 25-yard line. Gavin Dean on the reception for the Fire squad, and a nice throw from Cameron Barrios.
Hey, look, a little out and up, which, you know, you put a linebacker on that second receiver in, it's hard for him. He's going to play that out really quick and get burned on the once he turns it up.
That's a first down, completion to Gavin Guillen, listed at 5'10" as a running back coming out of the backfield. Barrios handoff up the middle, getting another nice little piece of yardage. Push back, probably spot it at the 32-yard line.
Up the middle for about 3 or 4 yards.
The Fire has been relatively successful moving the football on the ground. Not much going on pitch and catch, although that pass from Barrios to Guillen did move the football. But let's see what's going to transpire here.
This is a little hurry-up offense right here, which will definitely throw a little curveball to everybody.
Barrios in a design play up the middle, sniffed out immediately, and he may or may not have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, Greg.
Hey, there was years we played this game where Fire had the staffing, had all the bodies on the roster. They ran every play, hurry up, and it killed us, right? And that's when they first started winning games against the law enforcement.
I would think that's smart for Fire to do that.
You just have to be in shape to do it. It's
Exactly,
hard. It's a tough
and
thing.
that will, in the third and fourth quarter, may show on them in terms of their roster size. Barrios pitches out to the right side, and again, not much going on there. And that obviously is going to set up fourth down. I don't think there's any way you can go here on 4th down and 8 from your own 31-yard line.
No, but we said the same thing for law. So I'm a hold back right now and not
I would
commit
not.
to you.
I would
It's
not.
smart to punt this away.
They obviously we've got someone back to receive the punt at the 30 for law. And it is a punting situation, and Fire is going to do that.
So, hey, one of the best players on the law enforcement team is Josh Gurnaby, who played college
Scott's
football.
kid.
Scott's kid, who I'm like best friends with Scott.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched Josh play a lot. In the first year he played here, he got MVP and
yes,
did a lot of stuff. So
here's your punt. Not bad at all. Gurnaby signals fair catch and takes it at the 31. And that's where it's going to be spotted. 1st down and 10 for the law squad, who have moved the football pretty well in this football game with nothing to show for it right now.
it'll work itself out in this game. I think they're still in a point of time where they're just trying to feel everything out and get some sort of rhythm to their game.
Doug, what do you want to see Law do in this situation here? They move the football well. You want keep the dink and dunk going?
Ground and pound. Find out how much Fire, what kind of shape they're in. Obviously you've got the advantage in terms of the number of players. So you can substitute freely. Fire doesn't have that luxury, So I would say just send it up the middle. The one thing I have not seen so far is getting people to the edge.
Just happened right there, Doug, right on your cue. The law squad getting around.
Eric Davis Jr. off the right
Eric
side.
Davis running through the right side around the edge, getting a could be first down for the law squad. Continuing the ground and pound that we talked about.
Got out on the edge, a little different. They've been
Little
trying
on
to
the
run it
edge,
up the
yep.
middle, but
Haven't
they
seen
got
that.
around the edge, and it was
Ron,
all you got to do is to really trap that D end inside, and you're going to get a few yards. So
1st down for the law squad. Walt Gray, Doug Kelly, Greg Coet, the 3 banditos back in the booth here, as we have been for the last several years. Doug, glad you made it here.
So am I.
I know you were a game day decision.
Well, I was due to a physical malady, shall we say. But hey, good to be here. Good people.
All right, here we go. 9 minutes left to go here in the first half. Carey. All right, we're going to go down to the sidelines. Kevin John. Kevin.
Thank you, guys. Well, if you have come to the Big Bowl over the last 20 years, you definitely know the dignitary I'm standing next to. He is the current director of the Big Bowl. He also played in it for 15 years prior to that, the one and only Kerry Trzynski. First things first, I'm looking at you, and I'm like, this guy can still put on a helmet and pads and go out there and wring some heads.
It's not about being able to play. I know my role. My role now is to continue the tradition by putting on this game and making sure that the community has a good event to go to, watch a football game, and be with first responders.
With that being said, we're going to send it up to you guys in the booth.
Austin Dyer had the last carry there for Law.
They love to keep promoting our sponsors, SCDSA.
Just a beautiful day here for football. Even this looks like a Sac Republic game down in the tents. I mean, the VIP tent area, they've got some barbecue going. They've got some delicious cocktails, Greg. Next year, we should do the game from there. We should be with the people.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's a great thought. I like that.
They have food and alcohol.
They not saying the quality of the broadcast in the third quarter on, but we're willing.
Might be better.
It might be better. You're right about that.
Terrence McDonald on the reception.
Anyway, great
Game of
job
about
they've done with Sheriff Cooper doing a good job of understanding what this game's more about. And that VIP area last year where we were at was packed. And this year they came in a bigger spot, and they got it well organized, and it looks awesome down there.
What fun. I mean,
I'm sure there's a ton of people still in the parking lot waiting.
Yeah, that's when you know it's a good tailgate, when you don't get into the game till the second half. Kind of the Causeway Classic tailgates. Clock continues to move. Handoff up the middle, not much there. And this is going to set up a 4th down and probably 5 from their own side of the field.
Yeah, middle of the field. I mean,
again, we can always speculate. Is this a punting situation, or are we going to go for it?
Yeah, I think they're good. You know what? Start thinking about who the possessions and who gets more possessions, gets more opportunities. And that's what those analytics are all about nowadays. Be like, hey, I'm going to give you another possession if you make it, and the odds are pretty good. Middle of the field, yeah, maybe. Pro football, no way they're going to kick this away.
4th down and probably about 5 yards. And they're going to go for it. Doug, what's your play call here?
I don't think they have a punter.
Tight end over the middle.
All right, let's see what happens. Chase Sloan has 2 to the right, 2 to the left. He's going to throw over the middle as Doug called. What a catch!
That's a pass to Triplet down to the 29-yard line. Great flowing catch from the law.
Hey, a little gutsy right there.
I would say gutsy and also good coverage on that.
You know, great coverage. You know what? If you have those Sunday deals, he got mossed right there because he went over
I'd
the
say
top
so.
of
I'd say you're right about that.
Milton.
I can't fault the coverage. I can't fault the coverage on that at all. That was a 50-50 ball, and nice catch. From the Fire, 29-yard line. 1st down and 10. Sloan drops the football. It is loose. Let's see what the call is. Fire saying they have it. Fire definitely, and we have Law walking on. It is a Fire football.
With a second turnover.
Hey, turnovers have killed Law in this game. A couple years back, they had 7 turnovers in one game.
They're dominating this game. Law is dominating this game, and
that's part of this game. Is that mental mistakes, turnovers. It's going to kill you every time.
2 fumbled snaps, and
Faden Hadley got it.
Interception as well. So Fire lives to fight another down.
Look, they had like 8 people, 9 people in the box, right? They knew what they were doing.
So from their own 27-yard line, Cameron Barrios will operate 1st down and 10 for Fire, trying to get something going here. They have been truly blessed by Law turnovers in a scoreless game here in the second quarter. Barrios, handoff, nothing. Gang tackle. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
And Fire's got a unique offensive formation out there that probably the Law team's not used to seeing. They have 4 guys on the right side of the line, so they're putting a receiver down. They probably change who that is. Tight end and probably a tackle out there blocking, so they outnumber you to that way.
Doug,
make a good run out of that.
Doug, what's your play call here? The run up the middle's not working.
Then go to something else.
I want Doug as my own coordinator.
Oh, my goodness.
Like
you should supervise a lot of people in a job. You'd be good at that. Here's the handoff. And they do get a little chunky yardage here, but it's going to be 3rd down, and that's Comey Ite on the carry.
And Comey's been in this game for so
Yes,
many
he has.
years. Done such a great job. Been a superstar, MVP a couple times. Great player. But you know what's going to happen? You keep running the ball like this, you're in eye backs tired. People are going to get tired really quick.
Comey Ite, the 2023 Pig Bowl game offensive MVP, played at Mission College. He's with Alameda County Fire.
He's had some great games
He
out
has.
here, and he's always a player that I don't even have to look at the program to figure out who that is.
He's 5'7", 220. Cameron Barrios looking left, looking nothing. He's in trouble. Has a man, pass is complete. That should be enough for a 1st down.
to Tim Crenshaw.
Tim Crenshaw on the catch.
First down, Sky River Casino.
Fire, first down for Fire.
Hey, not an intention to go to
I
that
see
guy.
Drew
Right?
White
It's
in
his
attendance,
second
former
look on that
captain.
play.
Waving around.
Great
There he
job
is
by,
now.
quarterback to make a
Former
decision.
Sac State QB Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer for the Pig Bowl as well. Got about an 8 handicap in golf. Here we go. First down, Fire.
Cameron Barrios claps the hands, is looking, and just gets hammered. He had no chance. Was that a blitz call, Greg?
Yeah, that's a safety blitz right up the middle. Nobody's there to pick him up. What a great play. Hey, that's the chess game in here, right? You get to pick and choose some of these blitzes, and hey, you're happy if it works. If it doesn't, you're hoping you're not getting burned deep.
Armin Bailey on the blitz for the Law Squad, sending them back.
Armin Bailey, we're going to call him Arm and Hammer.
So that's going to be second down,
Hall of Fame inductees
and 10.
to the VIP.
Again, they're sending the blitz. Barrios gets it again.
The Lawdogs going crazy.
Same thing.
Same thing, came from a different location, right? It's just a numbers game. You don't have, you're putting 4 or 5 receivers out, and you don't have enough people to block. So it's just a numbers game. You hope you get there.
Doug, what does Fire do on the O-line to stop them?
Well, number one, you got to rotate some guys in and out, because they're on this series. They're starting to show that they're a little tired, even this early in the game. So a little hold to the jersey here wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah, try to get away with a hold. All right, third down and long. Obviously another passing situation. Let's see if Law sends. Barrios looks. He's in trouble. He's being chased. He throws, and the pass is complete to Crenshaw.
Short.
It is going to be short by about 2. Well, he's way short.
Yeah.
4th and 12. Obviously another punting situation.
Tim Crenshaw on the catch.
That will hurt that drive will hurt your stats. I'm not really good at math, but that's really not going to work out for you.
I thought Barrios did a nice job getting out of trouble and getting that ball to Crenshaw, but obviously way short of the first down. And we'll see what Fire intends to do here. They get the punter in.
Nearing the 2-minute time of the game, and there it is.
I think that you're right. You get to see now. You've watched the first quarter. You get to see what people are doing. So maybe you're going to make some decisions with the position on the field if you're going to kick or go for it. I think they've seen Law sort of drive the ball on them. Other than the mistakes, it'd probably be a different ball game right now.
I would say with 2 minutes left to go in the first half, there's absolutely no way you're not punting if you're Fire. And if you can go to the half scoreless if you're Fire, that's like being up a touchdown based on what we've seen.
Yeah, you think you're winning. I would. If I'm going to the halftime, it's like, hey, no damage. Let's go do the same thing.
Get a special one.
Get rid of the mistakes and we'll be fine.
It literally could be 14-0 Law very easily. And so I think in the punting situation, get rid of the ball, kick it back, hold Law, go to the halftime, and let's figure it out at halftime and try to come up with something if you're Fire here in the second half. They're just not cooking.
That's your coaches, right? Both of these staffs had the same coaches last couple of years. Teague took over for Morse like 2 years ago. You got Fire staff has been consistent with a couple issues, but what a great job everyone's done. But go make a coaching switch and get a better offense on the field.
Fair catch.
All right, fair catch. So we will see. Nice catch by Gurnaby on the fair catch from their own 21.5, 22. Greg, do you get aggressive here? You've got obviously some timeouts. You've got a minute 53. Go for it, right?
Yeah, no. You know what? I don't know. I would be, if I'm going for it and something weird happens, a turnover, which happens a lot in here, and all of a sudden I'm giving up 7, that's a big loss for me. So they're going to be consistent to what they've been doing, I believe.
Look at that.
Doug, would you be aggressive on offense if you're Law right now, or are you just going to hand off and go to halftime?
Absolutely. I'd go with a hook and ladder.
First and 10.
I would. Seriously.
What are you? You're Mouse Davis. You're the run and shoot. You're the guy. Yeah, you're that guy. Okay.
Hey, they're spreading it out, right? So they got 3 receivers. Call this trips, right? 3
Yes.
receivers on
Yep,
one side,
yep,
so it
yep,
looks like
yep.
they're going to throw the ball.
Passes into the right flat, and not much there at all. A loss, actually.
I think that, I'm watching them right now. They line up in that formation, and all of a sudden Law locks up and goes man to man. Those passes are going to be hard to accomplish in a good mode.
Well, they're not in any hurry, and the clock is continuing to run here. They did not call a timeout, so it looks like Law is going to be happy just snapping 4 here and getting to halftime scoreless.
It was the greatest thing when I was playing this game to see that clock as they run it continuously to just tick down because we're all tired out there.
Jay Sloan in the backfield. He's looking downfield. Pass is complete and out of bounds. That will stop the clock with 1:07 left here in the first half.
Just a dangerous pass at this point in time to me.
Yeah.
All right, it's a 2 or 3 yard gain.
You're not getting much.
Yeah.
You're not getting much.
But you're throwing it right across the face
You
of
are.
the fire guy. It makes me nervous.
Dangerous pass, Doug.
Dangerous, but it's obvious that you don't have to have 2 feet in bounds because that play was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's the college rule.
All right, good to know. It is 3rd down and about 7. Sloan to throw. Across the middle, catch!
Great catch over the middle.
First down, 43-yard line.
That's number
1:01 to go here in the first half. Hurry up.
Van Dusen.
Referee holds. It looked like we got some substitutions coming in,
Yeah, they're
which
trying
is
to run
allowed.
they're trying to do a little hurry up
Yup.
right there. They haven't even got the markers set, so they're going to stop the clock a little bit and let them
Timeout.
reset.
Law to figure this one out.
Hall.
Not sure what the kicking situation is for Law or for Fire for that matter in terms of a field goal or a field goal of any distance. But the weather conditions are absolutely perfect if somebody wants to try one. The wind, it appears to be, Doug, at 0.
If you can hit one from 65, there'll be a scout from the NFL to get your signature on a contract. I'm not expecting that.
Very true.
In this situation, Walt, you've got to use the sidelines. I don't care how many timeouts you have. You got to use the sidelines to get it closer that you can either throw it in the end zone or kick a field goal.
It would seem that that's what Law is now of the mindset to do, is to not just walk off here for halftime. They obviously are trying to put themselves in position, Doug, for what you were talking about, is to chuck it in the end zone, or we'll see if they got somebody that could kick it in from 40.
That was always Scott Brown's specialty in trade. I mean, how many years did he play in this game? About 60?
He was at least a 20. He was at least a 20. He was kicking into his 40s. All right, here's Jay Sloan. 3-step drop. Pitch to the sideline, and he does get out of bounds.
Yeah, nice job just getting top of the clock.
To Triplett.
Triplet on the catch from Jay
He
Sloan.
was able to get out of bounds.
Clock stops. 48 seconds.
Up a little gimpy.
I'll tell you what, if I'm on the defense side of the ball watching this, right, you know, if I'm on Fire's defense, that's their go-to guy this year, right? He's probably caught like 6 or 7 passes already, and they're not for big gains, but he's very accomplished at what he's doing. Nice routes, good hands.
Incomplete pass. Bring up a 3rd and 6.
That was going to go to Triplet
27
again.
seconds.
3rd and
Left in the
6.
first half. No score.
Law getting Jay Sloan is over here talking to the coaching staff. He's got the play. 3rd and 6, I would imagine on an incompletion, you're probably not going to go for it on 4th down from your own 47.
You know, Sloan's looking very confident, which
He is.
games he told me he just wasn't into it mentally and it didn't work for him, and he was like, no, he's looking really
He's in command.
Confident.
He very much is in command.
That's a big part of these games or sports in general.
Yep, he's found the people he can rely on, and he is using them liberally. Across the middle, he's got time. Now he's going to run and gets it to midfield. That's going to set up a 4th down and 3, and we're going to have a timeout. Law.
Well,
what do you do here, Greg?
I just tell you, you're calling timeout, you're going to go for it, right? I would think.
Well, from what I've seen from the Fire offense, haven't been very effective. It's not like you got to worry about them mounting a drive here with limited time left here in the second quarter.
You know what, though? That sort of sets them up, right? They haven't thrown deep at all. So you come out, you've been throwing little hooks, little outs, quick little outs, and sometimes those DBs go to sleep on those things.
Yes. You can hope for a penalty throwing it deep. You can hope for a miracle. But we'll see what happens here. We'll see what kind of play Law comes up with here on 4th down. Sometimes they'll talk themselves out of it. Like, we're looking forward to hearing from Kevin John at halftime. He's going to be grabbing Derek Parker, the Fire Dogs head coach, as the players run off the field.
4th and 4 at midfield for the Hogs.
We mentioned it. The crowd's starting to flow in just in time for half.
We got a really nice crowd here, particularly on the Law side. Here's Jay Sloan. He rolls. He's going deep. Let's see what they come up with, and it is incomplete. Double covered was Triplett.
He was actually 3 covered. There's 3 guys down the field. He was the only receiver down the field, just hoping he could go up and get over the top of those guys.
All right, so Fire takes over with 13 seconds left. What do you do with this one? Doug Kelly, you pitch it deep, just why not?
Use the sideline. First of all, you can get 2, sometimes 3 plays out of this if you can stop the clock.
All right, the Fire squad is meeting across the way, as you can see on your screen. Let's come out and see if they're going to play it safe. No matter what, it looks like they're going to be very fortunate to go to halftime at a scoreless game, or will Barrios be aggressive?
Yeah, they're spreading it out, so that tells me they're going to throw something, maybe a quick out or something, or try to get one play here and just go deep.
Different quarterback in, off to the left side, intended for Crenshaw. Incomplete. Little discussion going on here.
For the Dogs.
Little switch up at quarterback for the Fire players, giving Cameron Barrios a little bit of a break. They had Nico Fortino come in and throw for Fire. Fortino, the usual starter in this game.
Well, last year, him and Gay, they sort of rotated those quarterbacks with Fire, and he came in. I talked to the Law guys after the game. They thought he was the better thrower and commanded the game. He just didn't have time to practice last year. So, but he's got an arm on him.
Fortino remains in. He's looking deep. Chucks deep. Pass is incomplete.
Incomplete pass from number 15 for the Dogs.
Nico Fortino throwing it down. Nico Fortino played at Lewis and Clark, had 13 touchdown passes his senior year at Lewis and Clark. Played in the American International Football League for Berlin. Did we miss that league, Doug, at some point? And in some of your travels with the World League and all that?
I think we did miss that one, but you know who is coaching over there now is Billy Volick, John Volick's son.
Very nice, Sac State. John Volick was the head coach, athletic director at Sac State. Fortino remains in. He does have an arm. What he doesn't have is time. He throws, passes through the fingers, incomplete.
Of number 17.
Justin Williams. And that is going to be it. We got a beef going on at midfield. Let's stay with this for a second. A relatively small beef. This game is competitive, and that's what.
All right, buddy. Yeah.
Drew Wyatt, good to see you. And that's going to be it. We're going to stop down. Greg, some thoughts from you as we head to halftime.
I like it pretty. You know what, 0-0. We're going to start this game over at halftime. It's sort of fun when they get together at the end of the second half. All of a sudden, there's some emotions involved. Let's see how it changes the tone of the game. I like that.
Doug, would you like to see Fire keep Nico Fortino in there? It seemed to change the dynamic right away at quarterback.
I would, definitely. He's got a better arm, a little better sense of where he is on the football field, and you weren't generating much in the first half, so try something different.
All right, we'll see what happens. Stick around for the second half. We are scoreless here at Heart Health Park, the home of the Sac Republic FC and Cal Expo. Back with the second half football right after this break.
All right, halftime here. We're tied at 0-0. Coach Parker, your team was able to force a couple of turnovers there in the first half. What have you liked from your defense so far?
The defense is active. They get out. They've had a couple of long drives that they've been out there and not really giving up big plays. They've got some turnovers, so they put us in some good spots.
Obviously very competitive. First half, 0-0.
Yeah.
What have you liked from your defense to keep Fire off of the board?
Oh, our defense is monstrous, just like it always has been. We can always count on those guys, even when we put them in a bad position. They'll always take care of us and get Fire back off so we can get back out there and try to get some stuff done.
Well, if you guys have ever seen Sacramento sports over the last 30 years, you know who the guy standing to my left is. He is a sports reporter for the Sacramento Bee, and he is now a Pig Bowl Hall of Famer, the one and only Joe Davison. So, Joe, first thing to you, how does it feel? You were just enshrined or inducted into the Hall of Fame. What was that like for you?
I was out of shape. I almost was the last guy out there. I had to stretch a little bit. But, no, it's really great. It's, you think about Sacramento sports, there isn't a more established staple than the Pig Bowl, and it's 52 years of it for a great cause, remembering people who have lost their lives in the front line of duty. Admire all these guys. They're grayer than you and me, Kevin, but they're still playing for a good cause.
There you go. And there's always an audience for this guy. He knows as versatile as they come, the one and only Hall of Famer, Joe Davison.
Scoreless game here at a beautiful sunsplash day here at Cal Expo. Law takes it from the 16-yard line. Good special teams. Pursuit by the Fire Dogs, and Law will start at about their own 20-yard line. Greg, what have you seen that you like, and what can Law do to capitalize on dominating the first half but not getting any points?
Yeah, you know what? Well, I think they have their rounded pound that they wanted last year. It's sort of working for them. They're getting a few little small receptions, but hey, mistakes, mental and physical, right? Like control the ball, hold on to the ball. Your turnovers have killed your momentum in this whole first quarter or first half. So you know what? That's what you're ending up with.
Doug, you what do you think? What does Law got to do to capitalize?
Simple. Control the line of scrimmage, both of them, offense and defense. Whoever's going to win this game is going to do it up front.
Jay Sloan skips a pass out in the left flat.
Pass, the left side intended for Triplett.
Triplett was the intended receiver, so it'll be second down and 10 from their own 25.
Yeah, something to look at in that play. I think Sloan got, when the quarterback's releasing the ball, he hits the helmet or something. He got tipped at the line of scrimmage, but he started shaking his thumb or his hand on that throwing hand, so that could affect things a little bit. But hey, they spread it out, right? Going to throw the ball a little bit more when you do that. Maybe catch them on a run, but it's not a running offense when you go 4 receivers wide.
From their own 25-yard line, once again, Jay Sloan in the shotgun.
Yeah, I call this ace back, right? One running back in the backfield, maybe to help with protection, but I'm going to throw.
Sloan wants to go deep. It's well covered and incomplete. Had that all the way coverage by Kyle Sunby.
Yeah, they got Gurnaby playing a little bit of offense. He's just such a great athlete. Go up and catch the ball. When you're playing both ways, which is what's happening on both sides of this sidelines. If you are playing both, you get too tired to really be functional at either offense or defense.
Fire has 5 guys who are going both ways. Fortunately, they give them a break. None of those 5 have to play special teams. But that's a long day when you're going both ways and you're not playing football every day. All right, let's see what Law does on this one. Sloan looking, making sure everybody is set. He's got trips to the right. One man he kicks in motion. design run play up the middle, and he gets it to about the 33 or 4, going to be short of the first down.
That's an empty tradition, right? You got ace backs to start with, one back in the backfield, quarterback's in shotgun, send him in motion, right? There's not much a quarterback can do, right? But hey, you take all your defensive guys out of the play by running them out with receivers, and hopefully you can pick up the first down.
Greg Coet on the commentary. Doug Kelly is here as well. My name is Walt Gray. Glad you're joining us here on ABC 10 Plus. Happy to be doing Pig Bowl 52 from Heart Health Park here at Cal Expo. 3 in the backfield. Handoff. Running to the left side and short.
Down, and they are shut down.
Here's a big opportunity here for the Fire as they stop it on 4th down. Greg, you're not happy with what, going on 4th or the play call?
Yeah, no, going on 4th, I think they're pretty confident in their ability to get some yardage on. They've gone for it a couple times and they've got the first down. You're sitting on your own 25-yard line and you're doing that, so it's difficult for me. So maybe they feel so comfortable in their defense.
They must feel very comfortable on the D, or the fact that Fire is not moving the football much at all. You may see more of that here in the second half, taking chances like that.
I'd love to have, as an offensive standpoint, I'd love to have a 30-yard field every time I got the ball.
Well, let's see who comes out at quarterback. It looks like it's going to be Nico Fortino, who threw the ball very well in the end stages of the second quarter. He really gives Fire an opportunity to move the football downfield. Man in motion, Fortino is over center. He pitches it. And nice little pickup. Probably picked up, 5 or 6, Doug?
Yes, at least 5 that I could count. And I'm just a little surprised that Nico Fortino didn't start this ball game, because they've been a lot more effective with him.
That's the same thing that happened last year, and it was all about his practice time. And not that I know how many times he practiced, but he couldn't make it the first 2 weeks of practice last year, so starting to feel bad starting a guy like that. But I know just by watching him, Doug, that his just ability to move the ball, take the ball away from center, it just looks like he's done it a few times, right?
Yeah, Fortino, I'm not sure where his base of operations is for Fire, but he's not local. So it's possible he didn't make many practices, if any. And that is a reason why you want to play the guy who's been to more practices. And they certainly did that with Berrios. It wasn't Berrios' fault not putting points up in the first half. He was getting chased all over the place.
Yeah, continuity on that. Everybody's settled down now a little bit, Walt, and see who's going to, how they're going to function in this game. But maybe the offensive line is blocking a little bit different. They figured it out at halftime, changed a few things. They don't know what each other's team's going to do because it changes every year.
Again, Fortino kicks a man in motion, hands the football, fumble.
Comite loses the ball.
Comite looks like there was a problem with a handoff, or Tay lost it, and it's going to be Law football.
And there's a turnover.
Very unfortunate for Fire, gifted amazing field position, and they gave it back here to Law.
I'm not really good at this stuff. I don't do this as a career, but to talk about turnovers prior to the game is because it's what this game's always been like. So they're costly, and that's huge for Fire because they're in a great scoring position down there.
Simple handoff, Doug. Normally you can rely on that.
Yes, you should, and it's a terrible situation to have to find yourself in, because you don't get many opportunities like they just squandered.
You're absolutely right. That was a golden opportunity for Fire, a team that has struggled so far to get in good field position. They were gifted first down from the Law 25-yard line and gave the football back.
A little bunch offense. Both the Fire and Law are doing the same thing. Bunch it up. Let's see who wins the line of scrimmage and makes some big plays.
All right, clock continues to move here. We are early in the third quarter of a scoreless Pig Bowl 52.
Once again, look, it's a heavy formation. It's like they're on goal line offense right here.
3 in the backfield. Handoff around the right side. A nice little chunky yardage. And a gain of about Wilson on the carry for the Law.
For a first down.
First down, Law.
Maybe they're disappointed from last year about the yardage they got.
They had him bottled up at the line of scrimmage, and he got away anyway. And you can't allow that to happen if you're playing with about a third of the players that the other side is playing with.
First down from the 36-yard line for Law. Still got a long way to go for points. Handoff. Not much doing there. Again, a very aggressive Law front line with assists from the linebackers. Davis on the carry, not much there.
We used to call this formation, it's like a goal line offense, right?
Yeah.
A power formation where you bring all the heavies in and try to dominate the line of scrimmage. But to counter that, Fire just sees that and go, hey, let's put everybody in the box and go man to man and have some fights between the offense and defensive line. See who wins.
You're going to put 3 in the backfield. Why not do play action? That might totally screw up.
Well, you'd have to sneak the tight end out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe they will.
Right side, nothing doing there. Very nice pursuit on the left side of the front line of Fire as they continue to bottle up the Law offense. Chase Sloan comes off.
3rd and 11.
3rd and 11. He's going to obviously get a play call of trying to get the first down. What's your call? What's your call here, Doug? Right now on 3rd and 11.
I would say look for your wide receivers and get them to the edge, get them to the boundary. Stop the clock, but make sure you run a proper route to get you 11.
All right, Sloan with an empty backfield, trips to the right. And the officials have something here they want to figure out. Timeout.
Timeout, Fire.
Always one of my favorite things when to me, like short yardage situations, or when you got 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11, you're backed up like that. Why not blitz the quarterback? There's nobody back there blocking for him. So it becomes that who can play man to man, who can get the job done a little bit better.
An early timeout by Fire, Doug. Not sure that's going to factor in any time later in the 4th quarter, but obviously they saw something going on there that they wanted to.
Courage, grit, and brotherhood.
It's always troublesome when you have to take a timeout this early in a quarter because you only get 3, and they're like gold, man. You've got to protect them.
All right, Fire saw something they didn't feel they could cover. So let's see what the Law lineup looks like. Again, we have in the shotgun is Chase Sloan. Again, we have 2 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 in the slot. Design run, nothing. Nothing happening. Greg, what happened there?
Yeah, just what I was saying. You line it up, go man to man, and you're going to blitz some people, and there's not enough people to block in the backfield.
4th down, and Law will punt in a scoreless 3rd quarter here. Clock running, 7:25 left in the 3rd quarter.
Best defensive play that Fire's made all afternoon.
On the blitz, on the design run, and the Law squad is on to punt. We're assuming Fire's going to get this in pretty good field position. Fire, looks like Crenshaw, back to receive the punt. He's at his own 32-yard line.
McKelfish to punt.
McKelfish back to punt for Law. Let's see if Fire sends some people to block that or whether or not they're going to set up the return. No pursuit at all on the punt. Relatively short kick. This is going to land and get a decent Law roll, and they will get the football at the 45-yard line. Let's go down to the sidelines where Kevin John has Sacramento Police Chief Kathy Lester. Kevin.
All right, we are blessed to be standing next to the Chief of Police for the city of Sacramento, Kathy Lester. So first thing to you, what does it mean to come out and see this, the 52nd annual one? What does this mean to you?
Isn't that incredible? 52 years is exactly how old I am. So for me, it's almost like a birthday. But I'll tell you, this is such a tradition for us. I know it changed a few years ago. We looped in and made this regional. But I'll tell you, the spirit of camaraderie, and what these men and women do for our city and our communities every single day. It can't go unnoticed, right? So we have all sorts of representatives from all over the region, and it's just a great competitive game and really bringing out the spirit of who we are.
Chief Lester, we really appreciate it, and good luck to Law in the second half. We'll see if they take your words of advice.
I love it. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, I'm sending it back up to you guys in the booth.
Okay, from their own 45-yard line, Fire has Barrios back in at quarterback. Pitch and catch out to the right side, getting across midfield, down into Law territory. That looked like Barrios throwing. Fortino is not back in there. The public address announcer saying that was Fortino, but they've chosen to go back to Barrios here in the starting, well, we're midway through here, the third quarter.
So, sort of really quick, what I thought about this is like they're bulking up and then they throw that quick little out, right? So take that, you're blitzing everybody, you got 8 people in the box, you throw the quick out.
Around the left side, it'll set up third down and about 5.
3rd and 2. That was Barrios on that last pass play, not Fortino.
What do you do here on third down, Doug?
Well, I want to see a little more activity out of the tight end.
Okay.
Because nobody's been able to do anything with him all day.
Time for that.
Give it a shot. You know, it's still early enough in the game that you can afford to maybe not get a first down, but just boot it away and get some field position.
All right, let's see what the call is. Barrios is over center for the Fire Dogs. He wants to throw. It was over the middle, and it looks like it's incomplete.
Hey, great job on the defensive line, guys, who we don't talk about a lot. But, hey, they see a 2-step drop and throwing the ball, hands up in the air, they got the tip on it. So, awesome. And it was going, same thing, bulk it up inside. I thought it was going to be a run, go to the one wide out on a quick slant.
All right, it is now 4th down. They're obviously going to be going for it. Got to go for it in this scenario.
4th and short. Fire Dogs going for it. Here it is, folks.
Barrios over center. They must have had a pre-planned where they're going to rotate quarterbacks. Barrios has about 2 yards to go. It's around the left side. He's got a first down.
The left side. First down. No.
Hey, a simple mistake right there by the corner, right? Coming down on a tight end, you have no receiver out there, so you come down and take the edge. You got to line yourself up in a position where you can make the play on the backfield, not get sucked inside because nobody's outside of you. You got to contain that and turn that play back in.
Frank Trent on the carry. Nice play call by Fire. And they've got a first down in Law territory at the 42-yard line.
Well, I guarantee that play wasn't designed that way. It's probably designed to go up the off tackle, and he just bounced it out because he saw no one in there.
Bouncing it out. All right, first down. Barrios again over center. Clock continues to move. 3:55 to go, quarter 3. Barrios over the middle, incomplete. Barrios didn't have much on that.
I think he got tipped at the line, but you know what? It's been they're running the same play like 3 or 4 times in a row here with that bulk offense. So I'm not an offensive guy, right? So, but to me, you got to be setting yourself up to come with a different play at some point in time.
Doug, you like the pass over the middle. That one was double and maybe even triple covered.
Well, you've got to pick your spots. Mm-hmm. And Greg is correct. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And you wonder if it's because Barrios is just not as tall as some of the guys that are chasing him down.
Same formation here, you guys.
All right, here it is. Pitch outside. It is Trent again, and he doesn't have much at all. And that's going to set up a third down and maybe 10 here for the Fire. Once again, they've got good field position, but in the trenches, not really moving the pile.
No, you know what? And I don't know whether it's, the bulk of these guys or what's going on, but both teams, I think, talked about, hey, let's ground and pound. It's just not, I don't know if it really works unless you throw some passing in behind. You hear that every day on Sunday, right? They can run the ball, and then it'll open up the passing game. They're trying to do the reverse here, and I think they need to throw a couple major passes to stretch the defense, right? Not these quick ends.
It is third down. Let's call it 9 from the 42. Barrios over center, 2 in the backfield. 3-step drop. He's got problems right away. Nothing.
Barrios, nowhere to go. Sacked by the Hawks.
Same formation, right? Same thing we're talking about, the sort of the heavy. And so at some point in time, you get smart as a defensive guy going, hey, they're doing a quick 2-step, 3-step drop and popping this quick in. Well, they sat on it, right? And he tried to break it up the field. The quarterback just doesn't have enough time to get it down to him.
I don't know that you can do a field goal from this distance. You're obviously, they will, Crenshaw's on to punt. Really the only play, unless you wanted to go for it, but you got 9 to go, 10 to go.
You know what? You start thinking about fakes right in this area of the field.
Or pin him back. Pin him back if you can get a good punt off here, and that is a good punt, and it is a fair catch, and he got hit. Not good on that. Wow, okay. Fire had it golden, had Law pinned back, and fair catch got crushed.
Yeah, going to be fair, signal for the fair catch. You know what? You don't practice these things all the time. You're running downfield. You know what? He didn't violently hit him. He sort of got him with the shoulder. But still, I'm sure Gurnaby doesn't like the fact that somebody's taking a cheap shot at him.
Yeah, right.
But good for them. You know what? They end up with a better 15 yards on top of where the ball was
Kicking
spotted.
team with the fair catch.
Mental mistakes.
All right, let's go down to the sidelines. Kevin John as Sheriff Jim Cooper, Sac County.
The one and only Sheriff Jim Cooper. So, Sheriff Cooper, my first question to you. It's 0-0 after halftime. Not a lot going on the field. Were you expecting this today?
No, it's a tough game. Fires, they're a good team, but there's still 2 quarters left, so plenty of time to get the W.
All right, now let's talk a little bit more about you and just the work and service that you've done with the community. To see something like this come to fruition, 52nd annual Pig Bowl, to see it still going strong, what does that mean to you?
Makes me excited. Really the most important thing is the money it brings to the community, over $1.7 million for various nonprofits and charities. That's the most important thing. These guys get to come out and relive their glory days. The public supports us, so it's a win all the way around.
You mentioned the public. What do you want the public to get from this experience, from seeing Law and Fire and just understanding what you guys mean to the community?
Sure, your first responders do a tremendous job day in and day out. When you call 911, they're there. And for this game, they practice during their off time. They work their 40 hours a week and still come out here and practice and to really serve the community. They are truly citizen servants. So right here, your pin, and thank you for supporting us.
So does that mean I'm an honorary member now?
Honorary, yes, but you can't get out of jail free, though.
Oh, okay, good. I don't plan on ending up there anyway.
All right.
Once again, Sheriff Jim Cooper, thank you so much. Back to you guys in the booth. I hope you guys don't get taken to jail.
Have there been any tie games, Doug?
Yeah,
one tie game. All right, that's on my radar right now.
No, not at 0-0.
No. Handoff up the middle. Gain of maybe 2-3. Slow.
Yeah, this is when, you know what, if you start talking about who's in condition and who isn't, right, second half is going to show how tired these guys are getting. And I never understood offense. Like, the better they do, the longer they have to stay on the field. That's probably why I play defense. You do 3 hard plays, you're off the field, you can rest.
Well, I remember the last Pig Bowl you played in, you hadn't practiced at all, and then you were starting to smell game day and you suited up. And you played, I think you played pretty well.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. I don't know what I was doing. I just got frustrated.
I hope you stretched for an hour at least that day.
I was in the parking lot, if that tells you anything.
Yes, all right,
Yeah.
I got you. Sloan over center, handoff. Up the middle, gain of about 3, maybe 4.
And that's one of those things that story gets better every year, and I'm not sure it happened the way people say it, but I just go with whatever they say.
I like it. I like it.
That was Greg's pregame meal.
Yeah. He was well hydrated coming into that game.
I didn't suit up till halftime.
That is a much lore in that story because it's true to begin with.
Yeah.
And you came out at halftime, and I think you started right away.
But yeah, you know what? Those weird things happen. I don't know who the safety was at that time, but I had to go, hey, bud, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
just tapped him out.
Yeah, the upgrade has arrived.
They were like, no, it's fine. Go.
Yeah.
Right.
This might be the last play here of the third quarter. Clock at 20 seconds and running. Little bit of a confusion on that handoff, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter of play. We're going to switch sides. We're looking for points. Amazingly, it is a scoreless Pig Bowl 52 through 3 quarters here at Cal Expo's field, Heart Health Park. Doug, what now for quarter number 4?
Well, let's think about this for a second. You're playing in a soccer stadium. Many soccer games end 0-0. So I just think each team's going to try and do what they've been doing.
Once again,
get a sliver of hope within the 5-man offensive lines for each side. And 3-0 is as good as 63-0.
All right, I think as part of our responsibilities, we're going to be tasked with coming up with offensive, defensive players of the game. Not sure if we're still responsible for that this year, but we'll have to really be thinking a lot about that in a scoreless game, Greg.
I think we're going to have to communicate with Steve Buccellato, who's doing the announcing that I'm sure you're hearing on the back of our broadcast.
I am.
Hall of Famer as well, Sac State kid. We used to call him Tuckalato, so I think this job is great for him. Right? He's doing an awesome job. That's what happened, right? People get old, we get tired. Everyone comes and volunteers to be part of the game.
Run up the middle, gain of about 4.
So many volunteers, right? Nobody's getting paid to be out here. We have like 30-something cheerleaders out on the sideline. We don't talk about the board who maybe a week after this game starts dealing with next year's game.
Yeah.
All these volunteers and to do what? To support the community with their charities, right?
Really, really nice turnout today here at Heart Health Park. I think we're sitting here on the law side, so we can't necessarily look this way, but it looks like it's full. We have people in the end zone area. The VIP area is full, and Fire has a really nice turnout. Sloan being chased, nothing doing. He's nailed behind the line of scrimmage.
By number 90.
Great job just getting in there.
Brett Roy on the sack. Loss of yardage here.
Give it up for Brett Roy.
I can look at Roy, not just he's D lineman down there, but he's got his pants rolled up over the knees like a receiver. So I know he's got some wheels, or at least he's pretending to have some wheels. But Chase slowed down, nice shoe-sheet tackle, makes a good play. Gonna punt it again, huh?
It's a punting situation, and Fire should get the ball in pretty good position. Wonder if they'll roll out Nico Fortino again, who can throw the football. He can throw short and deep. And here it is. No attempt to block, decent punt, fair catch at the 36-yard line for Fire. Tim Crenshaw on the reception of the punt for Fire.
Dogs will take over.
Joe Davidson is here with the Sacramento Bee. Joe, you've been in town since '89. Have you sat in many Pig Bowls? Have you sat through anything like this? A score? We usually have some fireworks offensively. 0-0 with 11:22 left.
I think we should get our money back. I mean, this is, I think Greg was talking about everybody will feel it tomorrow. Doug Kelly knows these guys will feel sore tomorrow, and it's a bigger cause than the score. But you'd think somebody would have a breakaway. We got time. Somebody's got to at least make a field goal.
Yeah. Law has had opportunities, that's for sure. Field goal would be nice. Not sure. We haven't seen. I didn't see anybody warming up kicking, and that's usually a telltale sign somebody's going to kick. Around the right side, not much there, Doug.
Well, I did see kicking drills before the game.
Okay, good.
Both teams. A lot of them are going. Okay. But I don't foresee anybody getting a long-range field goal. I just don't think the skills are there. But if you can get it from 20 to 30, 35, you got a shot.
Take a shot at it, yeah. We'll deal with that as it comes up. Cameron Barrios remains at quarterback, tries to throw down to the left flat. That could have been a dangerous pass anyway, but it was knocked down by one of the D linemen.
Yeah, switching the formations of the offense there. Now they're spread out. So as a defender, you got to think, well, hey, this formation suggests pass. But they do it was going to be a little bubble pass, but they got a great press from the outside end. Get his hands up there and tip the ball away.
Greg Coet with the commentary. Greg played in many of these Pig Bowl games before that with the World League of American Football with the Sacramento Surge, where he was all league, and one of the few players in professional football who ever, I've heard, refused to trade when he was traded from Sacramento to Columbus. He said, no, I'm not going, and that was that.
No, I met my divorced wife. That's how that works.
Well, yeah. Fortino back in at quarterback for Fire, and he was heavily pressured. Let's go down to the sidelines. Mitch Nelson, who works for Truckee Fire, number 10 on the Fire Hogs, had an interception. He's with Kevin John.
Standing next to somebody who had a pretty remarkable interception in the first half. Mitch, can you just take me through the interception that you had and how you came up with the ball?
Well, I was playing safety, got moved to corner, and they just ran a hitch and go, and luckily just trusted myself, got around, head around, and there's the ball right there.
Okay, with another fourth down situation. Fire did try Fortino back in at quarterback, and here we are, another punt for Fire. Decent, returnable, hit, 34-yard line.
Guernsey met immediately at the 34.
Gurnaby was hit right away. Give him credit for trying to move that one up the field. Not much doing. Good coverage by Fire.
Yeah, you know what? That's what you're getting on this. So you're just letting them release from the line and go down and make a play, but good for Gurnaby not taking the fair catch. I guarantee one of the first scores in this game, if it happens, is going to be on a mistake and a big play. Right, so we've had little fumbles, but we haven't had the major breakaway for the 80, 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that's what Joe Davidson was just talking about. At some point, you expect somebody to break something loose.
Substitution infraction.
The difference is, to me, in this game is that they've run the ball a lot more than they have in the past. Both teams are trying to do that ground and pound, and they're getting enough to stick with it. Last year, Law's team didn't, right? -3 in the whole game rushing the ball, so they went to the pass and they got those two big plays. All it takes is one mistake. Well,
yeah, well, that's that's what we're sitting on here with 10:29 left to go in the game. Is there overtime, or are we calling it a draw here? Are there any new rules I don't know about?
Well, I wouldn't know either, but I know they have the one tie early in this game, or early in the series.
In the series. Picked off!
But there's a big play.
That's the mistake that Fire needed. Hold on to the football as you're cradled down at the 25-yard line.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. That's a major mistake.
Kelly on the pick.
Fire did have the football on the Law 25-yard line not long ago, and it was fumbled away. So this is the golden ticket for Fire. In this game, they haven't been able to move it, but they've been given some opportunities, Doug.
Well, ball protection, it's paramount in this situation. Let me refer back to the story you guys were talking about a few minutes ago. Guess who got the task of informing my colleague here that he had been traded to the Ohio Glory?
That would be you.
That would be me. I'm lucky to be here today.
And what was his response when you told him? Filter it.
Well, let's just say the second word was you.
Okay. Bless you. Bless you. All right, here we go. It is first down from the 25-yard line. Barrios throws, has a man over his shoulder, no flag, incomplete. Fire begging for a flag.
No flag.
Uproar over on the Fire bench, but a decent pass by Barrios, who threw it over the shoulder. Fortino is out there now, so we'll see what the play call is. for Fire on 2nd down and 10 from the 25.
Hey, what I like is I talk to the refs before the game, and a lot of them do these games year after year, right? And I like when they just sort of let them play, right? You haven't seen a ton of flags here unless it's been egregious type situation. So let them play. It's a charity game. Have fun.
Fortino, quarterback, hands the ball up the middle. Nothing doing there. He had trips to the left,
Draw play up the middle.
but the draw play doesn't get much, and it's going to set up 3rd down and 9.
I like when you can hear the head all the way up here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure those are even legal anymore, right?
Anticipating
A field goal, if it stays where it is, would be about 40-41 yards. So I think that's certainly doable. And that might be the only, but let's see what happens. Fortino in the shotgun. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Quick throw is over the head of Crenshaw, and it'll be 4th down, and let's see what the play is.
Hey, Nico throws a nice ball, right? Just a little high there, and that's just practice reps, right?
He's coming out. And let's see if they are going to go for the field goal attempt.
I watched them kick a field, like Doug was saying. They were kicking a few before the game. I was watching, and they weren't very consistent, but they gave it a shot.
All right, Chad Alvis is out, number 12. Now he goes back out. It looks like
he's got to get the ball, the kicking ball. There's a difference.
Confusion here, and they had like 2 different plays that I saw. Now they're going to talk about it.
It's like the Brady rule, right? The deflated ball. I'm sure the kicking ball has a little more air in it than the other ones do.
Okay.
What do you think the NFL guys are kicking 70-yarders now?
All of those accusations against Belichick and Brady, I'm calling alleged infractions.
I watched that game this morning on TV, the Seattle game. They were talking about it.
I'm sure.
It's funny.
Joe D, I just mentioned the Belichick and Brady thing. Belichick not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Your thoughts on that?
Surprising, but I applaud the guys who voted, who said why they didn't vote for him. They're trying to get other senior players, L.C. Greenwood, Ken Anderson, Roger Craig types, but those guys. But Belichick's a Hall of Famer, and I think there's dialogue that some of the things he did in the past, but we'll see. But maybe changes.
Chad Alvis on to attempt a 40-yard field goal, possibly 41. Let's see what they got. Snap is down. The kick is up. It's got the distance, and it's good. We've got points. We've got points in the Pig Bowl. A 41-yard field goal, Chad Alvis.
Nice kick, right?
the over and under was 2.5, brought to you by Sky River Casino. We just got the over, baby. Got the over.
Hey, points off a turnover.
Wow,
right?
yes.
That's what changes games.
All right, so 3-0 Fire with plenty of time left and 3 timeouts for Law remaining.
Yeah, like 9.5 minutes left. Well, it might change your strategy a little bit, right? That you have to get some points on the board. So maybe you open up the offense a little bit, right? And try some down the field passes, which they've tried the once or twice, and that's it. Everything else has been short or running the ball, power football. We don't have enough time for that right now.
For the kickoff.
Chad Alvis will kick it off. Here he is, so far the offensive MVP of this game. We got a little trickery here, and not much doing to the 26-yard line. At least it shows, all right, we're going to open this up a little bit for points.
Yeah, and you know what else shows is the momentum that Fire has on their sidelines, right? So that changes the way you play the game. You hear your crowd yelling, your family members cheering for you because you got 3 points. God, you know what? Good for you. Like, take it. You look at the Law side. What are they doing? Helmets off, head down right now.
All right, Doug, what you want Law to do here to get back in this game?
Run, and open up some holes. The offensive line is going to be pivotal in this situation.
Hey, Doug, I love you, but go to triplet.
All right, let's see what happens. Handoff is what Doug Kelly requested. Gain of about 2, maybe 3. as the clock continues to run here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think our you're a little different in this game because the clock's running nonstop, right? And it's not going to start stopping until they get within 2 minutes, I think, in this game. Just a different rule they put in to make this game go by a little bit faster. They know where most of the players are out of shape and old, and nobody gets hurt. Let's move the game along and see who wins it.
Second down, and about 7, make it 8. Jay Sloan at quarterback. Again, another handoff to the left side. Fire has this completely sniffed out, and he is out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
Eric Davis Jr.
Clock stops. At least there's that for Law.
And then, you know what? Last year when they talking to the Law team and head coach Teague, that was his mentality. It was like, hey, we got a bigger line this year. We're just going to ground and pound these guys. And I see what he's trying to do. Right? I just don't know if you have the stamina to do it late in the game.
Well, the Law squad has the numbers, obviously, over the Fire squad.
You know what? But the linebackers for Fire, every year they come, and they're big. Some of them have played college football. They're great athletes. I think that's the stellar part of their defense. And it's easier to play defense and learn an offense, so I think they're ahead of with those 15 practices, I think you're well ahead of the offense.
I got to agree, the 3 backers for Fire look like they could suit up in college right now. Sloan pump fakes, and he is out of bounds. There'll be a flag, multiple flags, on the late hit. And it looks like Sloan may have gotten the first down anyway, but it won't matter, as the 15 yards will be slapped down for either late hit or unsportsmanlike. Let's go down to the sidelines. Kevin John is with Colin Kelly, East Contra Costa County fireman, number 37 for the Firehawks. He had that interception for Fire that led to the field goal by Alvis to give the Fire a 3-0 lead. Kevin?
So far, defense has been the name of the game. I'm standing next to someone who got the interception that just led to a field goal. What did you see on that play? Take me through it.
Honestly, with our D-line, it's easy for us in the backfield. The QB knows he's got to get it out quick. As soon as they're on him, he's throwing it away. He doesn't have time to look for a good read. So got to give credit to the dudes up front for that.
All right, well, there you hear it. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the booth.
All right, first down as we move the football up to exactly midfield. So plenty of time, 3 timeouts.
That's a mental, we're just talking about the linebackers for Fire and Haley and what a great athlete is. Now he's dominated this game from the middle linebacker position. He ends up hitting a little too aggressive, right? You hit him 2 yards out of bounds. Even though the refs aren't throwing flags, you can see they have to, right? To mainly you see everybody get fired up, right? They don't want fights in this game. They just want to keep going. But that's a mental mistake right there.
It's like some kind of wildcat they're setting up here. Enriquez is in the shotgun for Law. Let's see if he's going to pitch or he's going to run. He's running. He's a wildcat, and he's got a nice gain of about 6 yards.
Enriquez up the middle for a gain of about 5.
And he's going to come off, and Chase Sloan is going to come back on for the Law team. With the 3-point lead, let's go down to the man with the points. Chad Alvis of Rockland Fire. He's the kicker with a field goal. He's with Kevin John down on the sidelines. Kevin.
Well, we finally have a score in this game, thanks to the man that I'm standing next to right here. Fourth quarter, 0-0. You go out there, you put 3 points on the board. Take me through that field goal kick.
Yeah, it's stressful, but it's a team effort. You got to snap the ball, you got to hold the ball, and my team did its job, and I did my job, so hopefully we hold it.
In a game like today, with both teams, obviously, who are good on both sides of the ball, did you think that it would come down to your right leg?
You never know, but you're prepared, and that's what I did for these last 3-4 weeks at practice, and I was ready to go. So.
All right, well, there you have it. 3-0 now, thanks to him. I'm going to send it back up to you guys in the booth.
Second and about 5. Chad Alvis checking his wristband for the play to confirm what it is. He's in the shotgun. He's got the football. 4-step drop. Rolling left. It's Enriquez, by the way. Not
completed pass from
Enriquez completed, and that should be a first down. And it is. Law on the move.
Yeah, give them a couple different looks in the fourth quarter, right? They're spreading it out. There's 5 receivers out there. So, one, you're not thinking about the Wildcat running the ball. You don't have enough bodies if you play it differently to actually make those plays. A couple good blocks, and you get a 5-10 yard run. And that time, he does the same thing, looking to run, finds an open body and makes a good – makes him think about it, right? That's what he's doing.
6 minutes, 15 seconds left to go here in this game. Snap is Enriquez, and he gets around and then is nailed. Helmet comes off.
Little QB trap off the right side, gain of about 3.
Big hit.
That's what they used to call a slobber knocker.
And they apparently still do, Doug. You're bringing it back. Love it. Be second down, maybe gain of 1. All Fire needs to do is hold the line here. Clock has stopped. The game announcer, Steve Buccellato, who spent many, many years as a great running back for the Sheriff's Department, very much as the game announcer now, very pro-law, I'm hearing. Very pro-law. You don't hear many game announcers doing go hogs who is supposed to be down the middle. But, hey, you know.
He's trying to put it both directions.
Okay.
He's doing a good job. I've heard him
He's very entertaining.
Hey, Tacolato, I told you I switched his last name.
Yep, you did.
He's very entertaining.
Sloan is back in, kind of a floater pass. Not sure what that was. Changing quarterback. They're saying it was Tyler Masterson. That was a bit of a floater, not sure even if it was caught, what was going to be done with that.
That's that little bubble like screen, but they're trying to get the back out there to.
5:43 and counting.
What's your call here, Doug? 3rd and 7. Big play here in this game.
I still like something over the middle.
You've been calling for you love the over the middle here.
I do.
Yes, you do. All right, 3rd down and 7. 5:43 left to go in this Pig Bowl 52.
Hey, this is the drive. They either get points here, or I think they're going to have a hard time catching up to even that 3.
This is the drive.
So spreading it out, 5 wide.
Jay Sloan is not in at quarterback, so wanting to try something different. Masterson remains in. He's got a 3-step drop, and he pitches. He had 2 receivers in the neighborhood.
Yeah, wide open, right?
Yeah. We weren't asking a lot of the quarterback on that throw.
No.
And somehow 2 receivers were not near it.
That'll bring up 4th and 7 for the Hogs.
Yeah, you know what? You got to step. He's got pressure from Fire there, and he just needs to step into the throw, and he sort of hung on his back foot, and it lofts the ball up.
All right, this could be the game.
Yeah.
It is 4th and 7. A field goal from here would be about 53 or 4. Apparently, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, 4th
so
down. We're good.
Obviously, 4th and 7. It's not a plunge. It's we got 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Here it is. Let's see what happens. Going deep, nobody anywhere near that. Greg, what happened there?
Yeah, you know what? Fire showed blitz on this whole thing, makes the quarterback a little nervous. They bailed out, but still, you got to be accurate with your throws and give them a shot on 4th down. I don't know what's wrong with Sloan. I don't know, because it's just a different thing going on with their quarterbacks. They're rotating some in. I don't know if he's got an injury. I have no idea what's happening. He did have his thumb hit when he threw that ball.
That was a while back, yep. So with 5:35 left to go in this game, Doug, would you see Fire trying to run clock here? It would make sense to me for them to do that. It looks like they've got a Wildcat situation.
Well, as you can
14-0, I'm sorry, he's in at QB. A pitch to the left side. They want to stay in bounds, but don't. That was not good.
No. Well, what you have to do in staying, not going out of bounds, is simply give yourself up just before you get to the boundary.
Right.
You know, I don't know why guys can't learn that. That's coaching.
Well, you know what? A little different rules, like I was saying earlier in this game. They just keep this clock going, so I don't know when
there was
they
a stoppage.
start stopping it.
There was a stoppage, and once they get the ball back on the line, they start it again. So the clock now is running.
5:10 to go.
All right, Fortino in the shotgun. He's got one man back. He kicks a man in motion. You would think they want to keep this on the ground. They're going to throw. Passes out into the right flat. It is incomplete and stops the clock.
On the right flat, incomplete.
5 minutes even left. I'm not sure on the first play, the runner goes out of bounds. On the second play, it's a pass. You would think they'd be trying to burn clock, but they're not.
Yeah, you know what? The way this game has gone, they've been running, and it's been 3 and out. A lot of stuff other than turnovers that have kept a drive going. So maybe they're just trying to spark something up, and maybe, hey, if they score here, it's for sure done. So
3rd down and long. Fortino, your quarterback.
They got it spread out, Walt, so same.
Yep. In motion. Handoff around the right side. There's not going to be much there at all unless he can get free. At least for Fire, it's a running play to burn some clock, and it'll be 4th down and long, and a punting situation, Doug, for Fire.
Well, what I can't see on the scoreboard, what's the timeout situation? That's going to be pivotal in these last 4.5 minutes.
I'm pretty sure Law has 2 or 3. Fire burned one early, and we have Law that's going to take a timeout to stop the clock. So that's a smart play. They're thinking.
Today's football game is proudly supported by Paul Barnes Painting, a local business built on quality, reliability, and pride in every job. From homes to
All right,
business,
Doug. We're nearing the end of a scoreless Pig Bowl for us. This is my 31st. Haven't seen anything close like that. And for you, you don't need a lot of points. It's been an entertaining, good game.
It has been a very entertaining game. And you don't have to score 100 points to make it entertaining. Sometimes a low-scoring game can be equally as entertaining. This is when strategy comes into play. And strategy is emphasized by the coaches, not the players. The player's job in this situation is to carry out what the coaches tell them to do. And we'll see what happens.
All right, on to punt.
The scoring leader to punt.
Alvis to punt. This is a big punt for him. It's high. It is a fair catch and dropped, but recovered.
Guernsey with a fair catch.
Gurnaby, and we've got another beef going on. You guys push and shove all you want. Please, no punches. Don't want any flags, especially Fire. You've got a good situation going here. You don't want to give Law any additional yardage. Clear it off. There you go. It's a very competitive game, and obviously you're seeing some of that. So, with 4:19 left to go, Law's going to have to figure this out, because they've got a long way to go to get any kind of points here in this game. Greg, what happens now?
I don't know, but it's always nice to see the director of the committee, Terry Trzynski, who played this game for years, out breaking up fights on the field. I remember our years we had Lou Blandis out there throwing bodies off.
I know.
It's a charity game, no fighting. I go, it's just competitiveness. After the game, cheers it up, have a non-alcoholic cocktail, I'm sure, and talk about how we each beat each other up.
All right. Here we go. From their own 26-yard line, maybe 27. Handoff. Up the middle, gets free a little bit.
Davis Jr. up the middle for 5.
Davis on the carry. Gets some yardage.
Slippery, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look for Sloan on the sideline. I see him standing with his helmet on the sideline, but
he's been banished.
Yeah.
Listed as Larry King is number 12 for Law.
Yeah, it's not Larry, but.
Yeah, but nice little pickup.
Davis Jr. for another
Hey, Larry King's played in this game for like 30 years. He always gets mad at me because I never mentioned his name, so I guess that's one good way to get his name out there.
Larry, I'm honored to have called it. It looks like it's Masterson who's number 12, although he's listed as 14 here. Dylan Masterson, 6'4", 190. That's who's in at quarterback now for Law, tasked with getting his team into the end zone with 3:15 to go. Handoff, slips away. They had him at the line of scrimmage. Nice gain, short of the first down. Davis on the carry for Law.
3 minutes and counting. How about that VIP section? Southside, yeah!
Clock continues to run.
You have the extra food or anything?
Hey, when you start getting into these situations, right, you're shortening the field down with your good first down or second down plays. Opens up what you can do a little bit.
2:39 to go.
Masterson, 2nd and 3.
Second down and 3.
Yeah, a little confusion,
They
but they got to hurry
got a little bit
this
of
up.
confusion here. He's got 2 wide receivers to the left, nothing to the right. They're showing blitz. Runner on the left side breaks free down to the 41-yard line.
Down by Sky River again.
Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say now we're, the last 3 to 5 minutes of the game, that's when all this fatigue's going to set in. Sustain a drive for a while. Either use your timeouts to get your guys a break or sub some new fresh guys in there. Maybe they're not as good, but sub it in there.
Law still has a long way to go. They're at the 42-yard line. Only 2 minutes left to go in this football game. They are moving the football, but do they have enough time to do it? Still a ways to go, Doug.
Definitely a long ways to go, and you're going to have to, if you're going to run it toward the boundary, because that way you can step out of bounds and save some precious seconds. If you're going to pass, catch the ball.
Thank you, official.
Greg, what do you want to see Law do here from the 42?
I don't know. I think you're seeing now is this little run game that's sort of paying off. They're catching fire in some inside blitzes, and they're getting around the edge. I don't think you can do that all the way down. You got to mix it up. But if you start going 2nd and 1, it gives you some options.
Right. You're going to get 5-yard chunks. That's what they've been doing. But will they have enough time keeping it on the ground? I think they may have a 1 timeout left. So at the 42, they're going to have to start throwing the football, like you said, at least to the flat.
Yeah, hey, if Brownie was still playing, and he played for 20 years, if he was still here, I could trust him with his field goal. I'm not sure someone new can do the same.
All right. Dylan Masterson is your quarterback. Number 12. Handoff up the middle. Another big ground gainer up to the 31, 32-yard line.
Trying to get in that doghouse.
Another chunk play. And it looks like another first down. More close to it.
You're just catching fire in these inside blitzes.
Really?
And picking the right calls for the right plays.
All of a sudden, Law is moving the ball at will. 1:47, clock continues to move.
I guarantee everyone's looking at the time of that clock right now.
Masterson surveying the defense. Hands the football up. Not much doing now. And now the clock is going to be a factor here unless Law decides to stop it. And it looks like they're not. At the 29-yard line, and now we've got a timeout or a stoppage and play. Fire calls timeout. Probably a smart move on the D. Right, they probably need a blow at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting after. You start running the ball like that, and you're a little tired. If you think about offensive, defensive linemen, guys, it's like a wrestling match between them all day long, right? So you got to be in pretty good shape. I always think those guys are big, out of shape guys. You know what? They're probably the best shaped guys on the football team sometimes if they're out there doing it every day.
Doug, I love this timeout by Fire. A lot of, it's like they are just getting pushed down the field a little bit. There's only 1:18 to go. 2nd down and maybe 7. So, do you agree, smart timeout by Fire?
Oh, yes. As Greg just mentioned, guys are tired.
Yeah.
And they need a blow, no matter how long it is, 30 seconds or whatever. But you know, if I'm Law, I'm thinking of throwing it to the boundary on this side, try and get out of bounds, and then throw it in the end zone. Try and get.
All right, Masterson over center. He hands it off around the left side and getting a huge second effort and out of bounds down to the Wilson on the carry down to about the 15-yard line.
So we've been talking about play call and all. They've been running everything up the middle. He gets the edge right there. So change it up. Hurry up offense here.
1:04 clock running. Masterson hands again. Wilson. Not much going. They keep him in bounds. Clock continues to run. And officials calling for stoppage is this for timeout? There's been no signal. The ball carrier was timeout Law. All right, wasn't sure. The runner was stopped in bounds. So with 53 seconds to go, Law is at the 15-yard line of Fire, second down.
You know what? Defensive battle, right? We talk about these games all the time. The last 3 years, there haven't been a lot of points scored here and there, but in return, people haven't left and gone to the parking lot. They're still watching this game.
Can you afford, if you're Law, to keep pounding with no timeouts from the 15? What if you're tackled in bounds? You're scrambling to get to the line, Greg.
I don't know what their timeout situation is.
I think it's zeros for Law, if I'm not mistaken.
But no, you don't. To be honest with you, but you know what? There might be. I've been waiting for the quick dunk over the middle, like Doug's been asking for the whole game,
or at least to the sideline to get out of bounds.
But you know what? Turnovers, intercept, something big here is going to decide this game. I don't know what it is. We'll find out.
15-yard line. Masterson has moved the chains for the Law team.
Second and 9.
Here it is, 2nd and 9 from the 15.
They're in the dog
Here it is. Handoff up the middle. Gets free, gets down inside the 10, and the clock down 54, 53. Clock is continuing to go. Law quickly getting to the line.
Davis Jr.'s done a great job all game being that slippery guy in the backfield because there's not a ton of holes open for him. He's just made people miss.
All right, here we go. 37, 36. Here's the handoff. He's free. He's at the 1. They did not. He's at the 1.
27 seconds left.
27 seconds left to go. Timeout Law. They did have a timeout left.
Hey, watch that play again. That's exactly what we're talking about. He had nothing, made people miss, and got the break they need, I think.
You were talking about fatigue on that D-line and the backer core for Fire, and in this drive, it's the first and only time I've seen it, Doug.
Well, let's face it. You only play one game a year. It's not like you got a full schedule. So they're doing a great job, but they do get tired. Now, you've got a situation where you're close enough to throw the ball into the end zone.
Yeah.
I take advantage of that fact.
Greg, Doug says you can throw here in this situation, or is this going to end up being like the Seattle Seahawks in that Super Bowl where they could have just handed it off to Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm doing that, but they got that tush push I'd implement right now.
All right, let's listen and see what happens.
It's all the big boys. This is it, folks.
This is for the game. No signal, no! Clock's running. 20, 19, 18, 7. Fire taking their time getting up. 12 seconds. They're going to have one. No signal, no signal, no signal. Nothing. Is this the game? That's the game. Is there a signal? The clock is run down. The clock is. It's going to come to the official call. We have no official
No
call
idea.
at 0-0.
No replay.
Was he stopped? The game is over.
Fire wins.
The game is over. They held. I can't believe it.
The Fire Dogs win it 3-0.
Unbelievable stand. Great for them.
That was amazing. An amazing stand. I thought Masterson was going to spike the football, and they. And it looked like it would have been the play call they would have called anyway.
It wouldn't
have mattered. What a goal line stand. Doug, your thoughts?
Heck of a ball game, guys. You're not going to see that very often.
Wow!
And good for both sides. It was a competitive game. Did not ever get out of hand. Happy for the Fire side because they've been on the losing end of a lot of pig bowls.
So, obviously a heartbreaking loss there. I mean, you guys were on the 1 yard line trying to punch it in. What did you see from that? And did you think that you got across the goal line there?
I mean, that's controversial, right? Scoreboard says no, right? But we're going to give it everything we got, right? We're here to win, but we're here for a bigger cause. It's way bigger than any of us, to be honest with you, right? So we gave the fans something exciting at the end, and that's all we can really ask for. Raise a lot of money and just keep grinding it out. Yeah.
One of the people responsible for that goal line stop is the person I'm standing next to. Take me through that final play. What were you guys trying to do, which you obviously accomplished?
Playing gap sound, gap integrity football. Everybody plug it. Closest to the football, we knew they only had a chance to QB sneak it. They didn't have enough time to turn around. Just everybody do their 1/11th, Glory to all the boys that grind every single day. It's a testament to the fire service. We do it for everybody, and we cannot get it done without everybody pulling the rope in the same direction.
3-0 Fire comes in here and takes down law enforcement. Congratulations to you. We're going to send it back to you guys in the booth.
All right, we are back up here in the booth. Walt Gray, Greg Cowett, who played in many of these games, Doug Kelly, who has broadcast many of these games. A 3-0 final. So low scoring, and then an epic goal line stand to end the football game. Greg, your final thoughts on Pig Bowl 52?
You know what? Great game. I know it's so when you have a defensive battle, it's a little slow at times, a little monotonous back and forth, but what a way to end this game. We've had a couple ties in this game, and it's fun. Everyone wins, but a goal line stance, there's nothing better to be on the defensive side of the ball for Fire when you make that kind of stand because you're at the different. Your odds aren't very good that you're stopping them for half a yard right there.
Doug, I've never, a 3-0 game can be exciting. Your final thoughts on Pig Bowl 52?
You can't argue the finish. I mean, it was a tremendous finish. You don't see a finish like that very often. Both guys, both sides are, shaking hands right now and all that. But no, a tremendous game, and you couldn't really ask her any better.
20 seconds.
Well, those are the final thoughts from here from Pig Bowl 52. A absolutely beautiful day for football. If you're watching this and come out for Pig Bowl 53 next year, hopefully the weather will be great. Here at Heart Health Park, there's beer tents, pizza, every vendor you can imagine. So come on out and have fun. Just a beautiful day for football. That's going to do it for us here on ABC 10 Plus. For Greg Cowett, for Doug Kelly, I'm Walt Gray. Again, thank you for watching. Your final score from Pig Bowl 52, the Fire Dogs 3, the Log Hogs nothing. Good day.